Every single Earthship ever built, all over the world, relies on one specific material that is slowly becoming harder to find for free. Use tires. For 50 years, builders walked into any tire shop and hauled away as many as they wanted at no cost because nobody wanted them. That is changing in 2026, and at the exact same time, a completely different waste stream, recycled plastic, is exploding in volume and desperately searching for somewhere useful to go. So, naturally, people are asking the obvious question. If plastic is piling up and tires are getting harder to source, why not just build Earthship walls out of plastic instead? I spent weeks digging into the actual engineering data, the real thermal mass numbers, and the genuine pilot projects testing this right now. And the honest answer is more complicated and more interesting than either the tire purists or the plastic optimists want to admit. Stay with me through this whole video, because the answer is not a simple yes or no, and the section near the end on what is actually working in real test builds right now in 2026 will probably surprise you either way you are leaning. Let us start with why tires became the material in the first place. Why tires became the foundation of every Earthship. Michael Reynolds did not choose tires because they were the perfect building material in some abstract engineering sense. He chose them because of three things happening at exactly the same time in the 1970s: a genuine landfill crisis from discarded tires, total material cost of zero, and a physical property that turned out to matter enormously: mass. A standard tire packed completely solid with rammed earth weighs approximately 300 pounds. That weight is not incidental. It is the entire reason the system works thermally. Earthship walls function as passive solar thermal batteries, absorbing heat slowly during the day and releasing it slowly at night, smoothing out the brutal temperature swings of a desert climate without burning any fuel. That thermal performance depends almost entirely on density and specific heat capacity, meaning the wall needs to be heavy and capable of holding a meaningful amount of thermal energy per cubic foot. A tire packed with rammed earth delivers exactly that, combining the compacted soil's natural thermal mass with the tire's structural rigidity and consistent, stackable shape. Tires also solved a structural problem that most people overlook. The rubber casing of a packed tire behaves almost like a flexible form, holding the rammed earth in a consistent cylindrical shape that stacks reliably course after course into walls that can rise several feet thick. That combination, free material, genuine thermal mass, and a forgiving stackable structural form, is what made the entire Earthship system work as well as it has for 5 decades. The tire supply problem, that is actually happening. The premise behind this question is real, and it deserves to be taken seriously rather than dismissed. Tire recycling infrastructure has matured significantly since the 1970s. In 2026, a large and growing percentage of scrap tires in the United States and Europe are diverted into tire-derived fuel, crumb rubber for playgrounds and athletic surfaces, and rubber-modified asphalt, industries that did not meaningfully exist when Reynolds started scavenging tires for free. This matters because tire shops that once paid to dump old tires in landfills now often have commercial buyers willing to pay them for the same tires, which means the free, abundant supply that made the original Earthship economics work is genuinely tightening in many regions. Builders in several states have reported in online forums and industry discussions through 2025 and into 2026 that securing the volume of tires needed for a full Earthship build, often 800 to 2,000 tires for a single residence, now requires more searching, more driving, and in some cases a small per tire fee where there used to be none. This is not a catastrophic collapse of tire availability, and tires remain accessible in most rural areas with active automotive service industries, but the era of completely free, unlimited tire access is genuinely narrowing compared to the 1970s and 1980s. What recycled plastic actually offers. At the same time, global plastic waste has become one of the defining environmental challenges of the era, with production and disposal volumes far exceeding anything the recycling industry has been able to absorb. Estimates published through 2025 from environmental research organizations put global plastic waste generation at well over 400 million tons annually, with only a small fraction genuinely recycled into new products. That abundance, combined with growing pressure on municipalities and waste management companies to find productive uses for plastic rather than landfilling or incinerating it, has made recycled plastic an obvious candidate for experimentation in alternative construction. Several specific recycled plastic building approaches have emerged and are being tested in 2026. Plastic bottle bricks, where bottles are densely packed with sand or soil and used similarly to tires, have been used in small-scale community projects, particularly in parts of Latin America, Africa, and South Asia, for over a decade, predating this specific Earthship comparison question. Compressed plastic block systems, using shredded and heat-compressed mixed plastic waste formed into dense modular blocks, have moved from experimental status into limited commercial production in 2025 and 2026, with several companies in Europe and North America now manufacturing structural and semi-structural plastic block products specifically marketed for low-cost and sustainable construction. Plastic lumber, made from recycled high-density polyethylene, has been commercially available for non-structural and light structural applications for years and is increasingly being tested in hybrid wall systems. The thermal mass problem that changes everything. Here is where the honest engineering reality becomes unavoidable and where most plastic alternative discussions online either ignore the physics entirely or genuinely misunderstand it. Thermal mass depends on a material's density and specific heat capacity, and plastic performs dramatically worse on both measures than rammed earth. Compacted soil has a density typically ranging from 1,700 to 2,200 kilograms per cubic meter, while most common recycled plastics, including high-density polyethylene and polypropylene, have densities closer to 900 to 950 kilograms per cubic meter, less than half. Specific heat capacity tells a similar story. Soil's specific heat capacity sits in a range that, combined with its density, gives rammed earth genuinely excellent volumetric heat storage capacity. Plastic's specific heat capacity per unit volume is significantly lower, meaning a wall built from solid plastic block, even at the same thickness as a tire and earth wall, would store and release dramatically less thermal energy across the same daily temperature cycle. This is not a minor technical footnote. It strikes directly at the core functional purpose of an Earthship wall, which is not simply to stand upright and enclose space, but to actively regulate interior temperature through passive thermal mass. A wall built from low-density, low-specific heat plastic block, even one with excellent structural strength and insulation value, fundamentally cannot replicate the thermal battery function that rammed earth-pack tires provide, unless that plastic wall is combined with a separate genuine thermal mass element elsewhere in the design, which changes the entire architectural approach rather than simply swapping one material for another inside the same wall system. What is actually being tested right now in 2026? This is the part most online discussions skip entirely, because the honest answer is more nuanced than a straight material swap, and the genuinely promising work happening in 2026 reflects that nuance directly. Several research-oriented sustainable building groups and a handful of independent off-grid builders documenting their projects publicly have moved away from asking whether plastic can directly replace tires in the exact same wall assembly and toward a hybrid systems approach instead. The most credible pilot projects use compressed recycled plastic blocks specifically for non-thermal mass structural elements, exterior cladding, interior partition walls, foundation forms, and roof framing components, while preserving rammed earth-filled tires or equivalent earth and rammed earth wall systems specifically for the primary thermal mass walls where passive solar performance actually matters. This hybrid approach genuinely reduces total tire demand for a given structure, sometimes by 30 to 50% depending on the specific design, while keeping the core thermal engine of the building intact. A smaller number of more experimental projects are testing plastic-encased rammed earth, essentially using shredded or molded recycled plastic as the outer form instead of a tire casing, then filling that form with the same compacted earth used in traditional construction. Early results discussed in sustainable building forums and at a small number of regional green building conferences through 2025 suggest this approach can replicate much of the thermal mass performance of a traditional tire wall, since the thermal mass still comes primarily from the packed earth rather than the casing material, while solving the supply problem by replacing the tire casing itself with abundant recycled plastic. This remains genuinely early-stage work without the multi-decade performance track record that tire and earth construction has accumulated, and serious builders pursuing this approach in 2026 are doing so as a documented experiment with appropriate caution, not as an established, proven technique. The honest answer to the original question. So can recycled plastic replace Earthship tire walls? The honest answer, after looking at the actual physics and the actual pilot data, is that plastic cannot directly replace the thermal mass function of rammed earth-filled tires using plastic alone, because the fundamental material properties that make thermal mass, work, density, and specific heat capacity are simply not present in plastic at anywhere near the level soil provides. But plastic can meaningfully reduce total tire demand within a well-designed hybrid system, replacing non-thermal mass structural and cladding elements while preserving earthen mass exactly where the building's passive solar performance actually depends on it. And in the specific case of using plastic as an alternative outer casing for rammed earth rather than as a thermal mass material itself, there is genuine emerging evidence that the core function of the wall can be preserved while solving the supply and sourcing problem that is making pure tire construction progressively more difficult in some regions. The most credible builders and researchers working on this in 2026 are not chasing a simple one-to-one material swap. They are redesigning the system intelligently around what each material is actually good at, which is a more honest and ultimately more useful way to solve the problem than either dismissing plastic outright or overselling it as a perfect tire replacement. What this means for anyone planning a build today: if you are seriously planning an Earthship-inspired build in 2026 and tire sourcing in your region has become genuinely difficult, the practical path forward based on everything currently documented is a hybrid approach rather than a full plastic substitution. Secure whatever tire supply you reasonably can for your core south-facing thermal mass walls, where the passive solar performance of the building depends most heavily on genuine thermal mass. Consider compressed recycled plastic block or plastic lumber for secondary walls, interior partitions, and non-thermal cladding elements where structural strength matters more than thermal storage. If you want to experiment with plastic-encased rammed earth as an alternative to tire casing specifically, do so with realistic expectations that you are working with an emerging technique, document your results carefully, and connect with a small but growing community of builders publicly sharing data on these hybrid systems, so the collective knowledge base continues improving rather than each builder repeating the same untested assumptions in isolation. 50 years after Michael Reynolds first packed earth into a discarded tire because it was free and happened to weigh 300 pounds, the material landscape around sustainable building is shifting again, and the honest answer about plastic is neither the triumphant replacement some optimists want nor the complete dead end some tire purists insist on. It is a genuinely useful complementary material that works best when builders understand exactly what thermal mass requires and design around that physics rather than ignoring it. If this gave you a clearer, more honest picture of where this technology actually stands, share it with someone planning a sustainable build. Subscribe for more grounded, technically honest coverage of alternative construction materials. Drop your questions in the comments because I read everyone, and I will see you in the next video.